So immigration was a central issue in New York's special election race, which Republicans lost yesterday. New York City Council Minority Leader Joe Borelli is here to join us. Joe, you had a terrific candidate. There's a woman originally from Africa. She migrated to Israel when she was about 14, fought with the Israeli army, came here. She's an immigrant, a tried and true immigrant who came here legally and is against an open border, but she lost. Why?
Well, I think she was a great candidate on paper for the reasons you just pointed out. I mean, certainly her resume would indicate that she should have been out there talking about the border crisis and legal immigration from dusk till dawn every day. But unfortunately, we saw her kind of shying away from most media. She didn't do any interviews, major interviews.
Well, she did with us, by the way. She was on Fox News. She was on Fox Business. So she was with Larry Kudlow last night. She was in Fox News yesterday morning. So she was on certain stations, et cetera, but I guess she wasn't. She had to sparse her time because of her duties on the ground, right?
Well, look, one of the biggest criticisms of her were that she was not as visible. And someone running in a district that's coming out of George Santos, where there might have been some trust issues with the voting population, who might not great with Republicans, you might have wanted a candidate that was more visible, more out there, maybe a state legislator or a town supervisor or something like that. I mean, she did run a good race, but ultimately, Republicans got outspent about 2-1, and they have a great machine out there. And in a low turnout election, we know why Kathy Hochul was going to be eager to put this by-election on the ballot, because Democrats have a great machine out there.
Joe, talk about early voting. Early voting apparently played a factor in this. Most of the early voting, I take it, was Democrat. A lot of Republicans wait till the actual voting day, and it was a bad snowstorm yesterday. That might have slowed some of the Republican voting. But Republicans have to get with it with the early voting. It's not going to go away. We may all want to vote in the traditional way on voting day and leave it at that. But right now, that's not happening. How do Republicans get with the program on that?
That's exactly right what you said. I mean, Republicans have to fight any effort to make mail-in ballots, voting that doesn't happen on Election Day. But once you lose that battle, whatever state you're in, whatever municipality you're in, if the rules are such that allow for early voting, in New York's case, 2 weeks before the ballot, then we need to do a much better job organizing our voting constituencies to be more attuned to voting earlier and more often. We saw what happened. We had a horrible snow day yesterday in New York City. Public schools were closed. Nassau County had similar problems. So there was a chunk of people out there that didn't get out early to vote that were probably discouraged from leaving their house. I mean, if you're elderly, yesterday was not the day for you to be walking about.
Final question. When are you going to run for mayor of New York City?
When Staten Island secedes, you'll see me on the ballot.
Well, that might be an easier district to handle than the rest of New York, but I wish you'd run someday. Joe Borelli, good to see you, my friend. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dave.
Well, a quick news.